So give me a little bit about your dad's background. I guess we could start there, as far as fighting and him kind of bringing you guys up in that world.
Jenny, go ahead.
So my dad is a martial arts master, Master Han, and he's very well known here in our community because he's been here for 40 plus years. He decided at a long time ago that we would train together and grow together as a family as part of his form of discipline. So I think fighting was always second, first was discipline.
Okay.
And my dad is a very strict, very disciplined Korean master, and because of that, because of his experience and his drive, he helped us become very competitive and very successful in karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, boxing, and even my siblings in wrestling.
Okay. So where does his, I guess, martial arts background lie? What accomplishments has he made as far as martial arts?
Well, he's done a lot of traditional Korean martial arts because he's from Korea,
Okay.
and he has his highest in Hojimuso. He's 9th degree black belts. 10th degree is the highest belts in the world. And other than that, I mean, besides dedicating his whole life to martial arts, he never really participated in organized competitions. I don't know, I think it's just the lack of opportunity growing up. But when he had his children, we were very blessed to get a lot of experience in many different styles of tournaments and competition.
Okay. So you guys essentially, come from a family of fighters. So it's yourself, 2 brothers, and 2 other sisters. So, kind of take me into, as far as the upbringing and, how the household is ran. I know you said it's very strict with your dad. So yeah, how was that, growing up, and, how did that affect you guys as far as school and friends and, just having that
Oh
level
my
of discipline?
goodness. Go ahead, Abie.
Well, it's a rough discipline road. My dad, he wanted us to be very successful. He wanted us to do something special that, no one else had seen. He wanted us to be successful because the way he was raised with his family was to do something special with his life. And so he dedicated his whole life to make his family proud. And his whole goal was to come to America, live the American dream, and show them, hey, we're successful, and have his parents come over to make them proud of him. Having successful children say, look, I succeeded, I lived the American dream. Show his family that, hey, look, I did it, and it's very important, like in the Asian culture, that respect. It's shameful if you go out there, because his family did everything for him. They gave him the money, they sacrificed for my dad only. So because he had all these blessings with his family, he wanted to show that gratitude and dedication they gave him, say, it was worth it because his children were successful. Unfortunately, his parents died, but the great thing was Jenny was the world champion at the time, and they made a visit. What year was it?
I visited
You can
Korea.
explain that part.
I visited Korea in 2012, and I want to
As a
say
world champion.
well, no.
In boxing, amateur.
As an amateur boxer, yes, but I didn't win the professional world
So
championship.
technically, it fell short.
Right.
Very short.
I didn't win
She
the
died
world
as a-
championship until 2015
So 3 years.
as a professional. So
IBF.
yes. But I mean, I did get to visit Korea twice, but our Korean grandfather had already passed, and my Korean grandmother had already passed at the time because she was diagnosed with cancer.
Right after you visited.
Yep.
So right after they visited back in 2012, right after they left to come back to America, she died. Right after.
Well, the reason we went to visit was because she was very sick.
Got it.
But
Okay.
but I mean, my dad has done amazing things with us, and growing up was different
Yeah, absolutely.
compared to our friends. We were in a very strict schedule, so we went to school, and we went to the gym and trained, and then we helped my dad teach classes. We practiced ready for whatever competition was coming up. Then we came home and did any homework that we had, and then we slept. That was our very strict schedule growing up. And
Except one thing was fighting, practicing, and training came first. School was
came
second.
second.
You guys,
My-
you
my-
feel like, you kind of missed out on, kind of like your childhood and, things going on at high
Yes,
school
I was
and
very
middle school?
upset at the time.
Because I think,
Very
we spoke
upset at
before,
the
you said it was kind of forced on you guys.
It was
Right.
forced. We had no choice.
Right.
It was a dictator. My dad was law. We had no choice. But
Absolutely.
I was very upset at the time because I wanted to do the things what my friends did. But looking back in retrospect, he did the right thing. Because with the friends I would have hanged out, I would be in trouble. So he kept me off the streets and he gave me something
A focus.
to live for and focus on. And I think that's, look at the Asian culture. Asians are the best ethnicity in America. It's a fact. We run this country. We are all the business leaders because of the culture of Asian society. They discipline their children so hard and they focus on one direction, whatever that direction is. If it's school, studying, fighting, martial arts, they push their kids. They don't have a choice. They said it's so stressful that they commit suicide. So when you're raised in that kind of culture environment, there is no second. It's doing the best you can with all you have, night and day, until you're the best. And that's how you show your parents. And that's what, the way our dad shows us love is through strict discipline. It sounds like, wow, that's too hard. But that's the best way he can show us how he loves us, is that he wants to give us a better future than what he had.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know that as a kid, but now that we're older, I have a kid of my own, she's gonna have a kid, we start to understand the meaning, whether it was right or wrong, the impact that he had. The intent was to make us the best we could, and we're very grateful and appreciative for everything
Growing up,
my dad has given.
my dad, I'm the oldest, so he's very strict on me. Still strict on the others, but not so much where they got to participate in sports.
She was the chosen
So-
one, and it was hard.
So my siblings, they did, Abie did football, basketball, track, wrestling. My sisters also did track and wrestling. So they did get to participate a little bit in school activities, and they enjoyed it very much, and they were very successful. But unlike some of their peers where they can come and go as they please, my dad still had that very strict discipline.
Yeah.
You go to train and then you come back.
Now,
As
for
soon as you're done.
example, so he did let me do basketball. I had a basketball game. Right after the game, I had to come here and practice for the hours I missed in training. So whatever activity I did, I had to pay it back here.
So you had to make it
So
up.
I had to make it
Yeah.
up, whether people were here or not. It didn't matter. So this still came first. And I think, I think a lot of Asian cultures is very important because you let your kid try everything. They're okay in everything. When you're first forced to do whether you like it or not, when you're forced to do one thing, studying, fighting, extracurricular, whatever that activity is, when you're forced to just do one thing, whether you want to or not, you do that from a kid all the way till you finish high school, you're gonna be good at it.
Yeah,
you're
excel
gonna
in
be actually not.
that.
You're gonna be great at it. And so I think that's the reason why a lot of, everyone's like, minorities in America, they can't make it. The African Americans, Mexicans, like, what's going on? Asians, it's so strict and they force it upon us.
One focus.
Asians are ruling, I think, the U.S. primarily because we own all the businesses.
So do you feel like just having too many options get in the way?
Yes.
And people should
Yes.
kind of...
Unfortunate. No, I don't know. No. I think options are great, but when you're forced to do one thing, I'm not saying it's the best thing ever. No, there's things I regret and I'll always regret. But when you're forced to do one thing and one thing only, you cannot. There's no other option. You can have fun a little bit, but at the end of the day, you have to do that. And if you do something else, you gotta make it up back, no matter what. You're gonna end up being good at, especially if you do it from a kid. Kids learn things so fast. So if you start from an early age all the way till high school, till college, and you're doing that thing over and over again, who can compete with you? Your experience and your knowledge on that subject is the best. You're gonna be the best. No one else can compete. Therefore, somebody else, you do one sport, two sport, doing this, do that, you're gonna be okay and mediocre at other things, but you're not gonna be the best at one thing. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player ever. All he did was basketball. Then he tried baseball wasn't good at that, but he was the best basketball because the greatest at any sport are the best at that because they dedicate everything on that sport.
A strict schedule like that, do you also miss out on, relationships and friendships? Because
Well, I'm
essentially, most of your life is, here at the gym.
Right.
School, gym, you guys don't have time for, anything else. So, was there a huge impact
Right.
as far as friendships and relationships?
So, I mean, we have friends, but I guess normal families, you are able to schedule a social activity and go to it and enjoy your free time. We had very little free time, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but definitely affected our social circles and our friendships. But I think the friends that stuck by us they're true friends. They've been lifelong friends, even though we weren't able to always go to the movies with them or go hang out or do whatnot. They still support us, and we still share a deep bond. And I've had some of my friends since my school years, and they still contact me now. So the few friends we have, they've stuck with us.
Yeah, pretty much, my first girlfriend, 21, enough said. Because I wasn't allowed to date.
Yeah.
So, so even with that, so now, at 21, did you feel, awkward dating and,
Yeah.
kind of doing the things that other people were doing at,
My
13?
girlfriend was 16 years old. She knew more stuff than I did.
More experience.
Yeah, she was more experienced. I never kissed a girl. She was the first person I kissed. She was so experienced, I ended up marrying her because she knew more stuff than I did. So the first girlfriend I met was the one I married because she blew my mind. I was like, whoa. It's just, so we're just so innocent. I don't drink, I don't smoke, not because I'm better than you, no, or I think I'm better. I was never exposed to it. The drugs, all the bad, negative stuff that people want to stay away from. When you're forced to do something, you can't get exposed to other things. So it's a bad and it's good because it did save me from the things I probably would have done. So, looking back, I don't regret that part of it. So, I'm kind of happy with the way my life has turned out.
So let's fast forward, to, I guess, one of the recent fights that you had. Recently you had a fight with Jayleon Love, and that fight was pretty significant for you, because had you won that fight, a lot of opportunities would have opened up for you. So take me to the fight, because I know it was a split decision based on a headbutt.
A split decision draw, I think. It's one of those things. If I had won, I would have probably continued pushing myself. But after that fight, I just kind of lost interest because I knew that the climb was still possible. But when I've done this my whole life, it gets hard, and you have to have that mental toughness to keep pushing through those hard times. And I'm still in a position where I can turn around. I'm still capable and able, but am I willing to take that step? We'll see in the future. Now, I think what makes Jenny so great is she's had times where she's dislocated her shoulder, she's lost fights she should have won as a professional, and these things would have discouraged anybody. I would have quit. I would have said, this is not for me. There's no point. So you can see the mental toughness of an individual and the fact that I didn't bounce back and prove, that the doubter's wrong because they got the last laugh. And anyone that had seen that fight knows I won that fight. It's clear that I won. I'm not here to say, that they robbed me, but no. Anyone that watched the fight, they can be the judge. Everyone knows I won that fight. Anyone that knows boxing knows I won that fight. I'm not going to be here to be crying and complaining about it. But when you have the situation is, I'm the B side, he was the A side, you got to win overwhelmingly. And since I didn't do that, those things are going to happen. And it happens to a lot of fighters. I'm not the only one. It happens to a lot of fighters. But what makes, I think, my sister, why she's world champion, she's from El Paso, is we don't have the promoters, we don't have the people lining up to sign us. What makes Jenny special is that she can take disappointment after disappointment, get herself back up, and keep pushing herself to reach the ultimate goal. And that's why she's the world champion, El Paso's only world boxing champion, male or female, because she's able to handle that disappointment, that pressure, and not look backward, keep pushing. And if I want to be the best and be a world champion and be like my sister, follow my sister's footsteps, I have to have that mental toughness. and keep pushing through, even through those disappointments and hard times. But like, again, I'm 34, my clock is now. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I have to make the push, and we'll see, 2-3 years from now, we'll know, we'll see if I had that mental toughness.
So how hard did you train for that fight? Because I know we talked previously, and you told me that you trained harder for that fight than your most recent fight.
Oh yeah, I just really, I after that fight, I was starting, I was already in talks with my wife, this is not worth it. I'm sacrificing so much, I have to spend so much money just on gas to go up to Las Cruces and back every day. That's a lot of money. And then we train, all the food we eat, all the money we spend on training, gloves, equipment, that's a lot of freaking money. I'm sorry, it's a lot of money. And when you only fight once or twice a year, and majority of my fights are like $2,000-$3,000, and I finally got a good pay, so I'm not making that much money. And I'm going to have a kid on the way, I have a wife, I have to find a way to pay the bills. And so I decided right after that fight, you know what, I gotta, this is not healthy for my wife, and I decided to open up my own martial arts school. And it's always been a dream, this is my passion, I love the martial arts. And when I decided to do that, I still needed some extra income, and they offered me this fight for 50 grand. I was like, that's the perfect, I can use this money, I can start a gym. So my heart wasn't in it because like, I'm gonna start a business. This money's gonna help me jumpstart my business.
So you essentially took the fight
I took it for
just for the money.
Because when you're the B side, you have no money, there's no backing behind you. When you're the A side, you're signed with the promoter. The promoter has invested a lot of time and money with you, and they want to get their investment back. So obviously, if you're the B side, you don't have the judges on your side, the referees on your side, the team's not even on your side. You're not a name, you're not a known person. I'm not going to help bring in the money, I don't bring in the cash. And so it's common sense. When you invest money into a fighter, unless you beat him badly, overwhelmingly, you're not going to win the decision. So even though the Jay Leon fought, I won that fight, they're not going to give me a decision unless I went overwhelmingly. And I beat him, but it wasn't so overwhelmingly that they could do that. But I did such a good job in that fight that they couldn't screw me either. Thus, I got a draw. You know what I mean? But there's quite a bit of fights where they just, people see me winning, but if I don't win overwhelmingly, I'm gonna lose. And it's not like something I didn't know. Going into the fight, after that fight, I actually thought I was gonna win. I thought I was gonna get a fair shake, but it wasn't a shock either, because that's the way the business is run. I've done this a long time to know that after so long, I know what side I am. And if I'm not with the promoter side, right after I got cut with Top Rank, I knew I'm the B side. And you gotta go out there and dominate overwhelmingly if you're gonna win a decision, or knock them out. And in case I didn't do that, so I know where I stand. And if I really want to be a world champion, I got to win so dominant. I got to knock them out. There's no question. And then they'll give me a shot maybe for a world title.
Now, had you won that fight, what opportunities would have opened up for you?
Oh, it would have been great. I would have been in line for a world title. And also with Anthony Jarrell, if I beat him, I would have been in line for the world title. So the opportunities there, I just got to win them. I can't be winning close or fight is not going to go my way. I am the B side. Now, if you switch on as A side, then they would have to beat me overwhelmingly.
So the support that you guys get from El Paso, do you guys feel like you kind of get the maximum support that you guys should get as a fighter? Because you guys are very unique in the sense that you guys haven't left El Paso, and to kind of go to a bigger city where the market for boxing is there, and you guys can get a little bit more exposure. You guys, stay local.
Well, I love El Paso. I mean, we were born and raised here. We still live here. We still work here. I'm very proud to be from El Paso, and I'm a female world champion, and I don't have a lot of opportunities elsewhere. So even if I did decide to go, I'm going to be the best here. And I do get a lot of support from El Paso. They've supported me for all my championship fights, and I've done more, I think, for female boxing in Texas than any other female fighter. And unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to fight on TV, but that might be in my future. And until I get national exposure and fight on TV, I'm not gonna make as strong of an impact in the boxing world as I'd like. I mean, I'm a world champion, but only El Paso knows me. I don't have the reach like my brother. I mean, he's fought Showtime, HBO, ESPN2. He's a household name. People that know boxing know him. And people that know boxing don't know me yet, but
It's unfortunate because the better fighter is my sister. And so it's unfortunate for the women's side. It's very unfortunate because, if she was a man, everyone would know her. But because she's a woman and in boxing, unfortunately, the way it is set up, and because they don't really push women the way they do men in boxing or MMA, which they do push women, women get the bad side, is worse than me. And I'm the B side, and I do much better than her.
So even with that, as far as like being a household name and people knowing who you are, we're kind of in an era now where we don't have to rely on, the big platforms like the news and
Right.
things like that. Like, social media has, kind of evolved to the point where, people can promote themselves.
that's true.
So, and you guys are very humble. You guys come from a humble, household. But do you feel like, hey, I need to kind of, get on social media. And kind
I
of
need to
promote
get
myself
online,
and,
attend
kind of
Right.
talk a little bit more.
I need to get
and
these
be out there.
platforms.
I actually,
Instagram, we need to get those.
I have social media. I'm
You
doing my
got an Instagram
best.
account?
I'm doing my best to be active on social media.
Okay.
But you're right. We do need to take advantage of the social media platforms, and they need to know our story. I think if they know us, and even we are a humble family. I mean, we let all our talking in the ring. We do it with our fists, not with our mouth. But
I would like to do
But
it
a
with,
lot of times-
I would like to do it with my mouth and
No,
not my
a lot of
fist,
times
but
that doesn't sell.
exactly.
So,
So it's hard to change my personality. My brother's much more
yeah, I am.
cinematic.
I am.
He's-
The problem is, like, I can talk a mad game, but the problem with that is it's not real. It's fake. So if I'm going to talk a mad game and talk, smack talk with another fighter, it comes out, it might come out real, but that's not who I am. That's not the person I am. So, I do martial arts this my whole life. That's what I care about. And I do demonstrations for testing, and they're on YouTube. You can see them. And, that's my chance to be a bad guy and say, trash talk. And I do amazing trash talk. But reality, I'm not that. And I won't put on this fake persona just to make money. When kids
so
look
it's
up to
important
us.
for you guys to stay true to yourselves.
Right.
And
Especially in
even
the
if
business.
you're not getting that exposure and you're not doing what everybody else is doing.
Right, and I have no regrets. I mean, I've done things in boxing that I never dreamed I would have done as a young child, and I definitely have no regrets. But we're working on the social media platforms. We're working on it. I think if people know our story, they will be more inclined to see female championship fights. And the direction that women's boxing is going now, I mean, we're slowly getting opportunities to fight on TV. So, I mean, it's not too late. After this, we'll see what's up.
Yeah, so you're pregnant now.
Yes.
So how does that work with being the IBF champion
So-
and being pregnant?
I'm still the champion. The IBF will give me 9 months after I give birth to defend my title, and I am due for a title defense this February. But obviously, I can't because I am a little bit busy right now. The number 1 and number 2 girl in my division will fight against each other, and whoever wins will become the interim champion. And after I give birth, I'll fight the winner of those. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a new, exciting chapter in my life.
So being a female and being in the sport, what kind of hardships have you faced?
Goodness.
I'm sure there's a
How
lot.
specific do you want me to get? So I don't want to go into the money issue because everybody understands that. Being a female fighter, getting support was very difficult in the beginning. I mean, here in El Paso, I was a 6-time national champion. I represented the U.S. I fought all over the world. I had great success as an amateur, had dreams of going to the Olympics, but it didn't happen for me. I mean, I waited 2000, I waited 2004, I waited 2008. Didn't happen. I turned pro in 2008. They had women's boxing Olympics in 2012. My weight class wasn't one of the weight classes that they chose, so I have no regrets. I mean, my life has led me in the direction that it needed to go, and I know God was watching over me, but unfortunately, even when I turned pro, I didn't have a lot of support. they would have a lot of fights here in El Paso, and I'd have to beg to be on their card. Sometimes they'd put me on, sometimes they wouldn't. I didn't have a manager, I didn't have a promoter. When I first started, I didn't even have a coach. I mean, my brother's coach, Louis Burke, he took me under his wing after seeing me struggle and not have anyone to.
Yeah, what's
We'll
next?
see. We'll see. You know, I'm gonna take. We'll see where this road leads me. You know, trying to get another fight whenever they pop up. Louis, you know, is my coach, and he's not gonna let me take anything unless I'm training.
Because
And I-
right now you're about the money.
Yeah, I'm about the money, and Louis is about reputation, and I agree because he's one hell of a coach. I mean, he's one of the best coaches in this area, maybe ever. You know, and so he demands a lot. And when you're fighting, you're representing him, and unless you know, give him 100%, it doesn't matter what you're doing, he won't work with you. And that's pretty much, you know, I'll take any fight, anytime, but he's like, no, unless you're training, he ain't gonna give me anything. So
Absolutely.
I gotta go give him the work.
Okay.
And me, like I said, so first, number one, my priorities are having a healthy baby. And then after that, like I said, IBF is giving me 9 months to prepare for title defense. I mean, there's 2 fights that I would love to happen. 1, unify the division. 2, fight a big fight on TV. And I mean, if we can work that out, then it'll be worth it for me. And if not, then we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But I mean, I'm still here. I'm not dead yet. I feel like I've accomplished a lot as a female fighter, but I'm not finished. Hi everybody, this is Jennifer Han, IBF World Champion, and I want to make a shout out to my friend Elliot. Follow him on ness.tv on Facebook, Instagram,
And you too.
and YouTube. Peace.